And we're asking about censorship of the internet. Should India go the China way, as the court has threatened? What is the way out of this web? Well, I spoke earlier to one of India's most prolific tweeters, if that's what you call them, Shashi Tharoor, Lok Sabha MP of the Congress, who has his rather own strong views on the issue. Mr. Tharoor, when this story first broke, you initially said that you were completely against any kind of censorship of the internet. You then said you spoke to Kapil Sibal and you understood why some of the content was inflammatory and should be removed. Where then do you stand on this debate today?
Well, my stand is precisely both those points. First, I'm completely against censorship, particularly of anything that involves art, literature, or political opinion. In a democracy, those things have every right to be out there, and we shouldn't be even thinking in terms of censorship. But what Kapil made clear to me was, first of all, he'd been misrepresented. He never asked for pre-screening. He knows, as everyone does, that if there are 100 million things being posted every day, no internet service provider can pre-screen them. What he was saying is, when there is material up on the net, posted up on the net, that could actually be inflammatory or defamatory, but inflammatory was what he was more worried about. That is stuff that could be used either out of genuine outrage or out of a political malicious motive to stir up agitation, stir up violence. Then it is the responsibility of government to try and have it taken down. Just as if something nasty was said about you that wasn't true, you would have a right to ask the service provider to take it down or block some wrong content. Similarly, the government should have the right, in the interest of the maintenance of law and order, to ask people to take things down. That was the broad approach, and on that basis, I said I support Kapil, because some of the things he described to me when he talked to me about what it was that had upset him, frankly, was like lighting a match at a petrol pump. And, you know, as a society and as a government, there is a responsibility to stub out that match rather than just close down the pump. So you really have to be sensible there. And I think that striking the balance is the challenge, because somehow exercising governmental responsibility is always a thankless task, but doing it on anything that involves the realm of freedom of expression raises questions in people's minds that the government is really trying to censor unpalatable views and so on, and that we should never do. I was appalled when a Delhi High Court judge spoke about China as an example. We are not China, we are a democracy, and we must always remain a democracy, right, including on the internet.
Well, since you brought up that particular issue, that was actually my next question. That is, prosecuting Google and Facebook then the right way to handle this? You know, is there a danger, as you just said, of India going the China way on this?
Yeah, I personally think it's a bad idea, because I do believe there is a very important distinction between those who have actually posted or uploaded the defamatory or inflammatory or obscene material and the service provider who's merely a means of transmission. In other words, if your newspaper publishes something horrendous, you can prosecute the newspaper. But this is like prosecuting the delivery boy who drops a newspaper at your door, or the postal service through which it has come. You don't prosecute the postman for delivering the newspaper. Facebook is delivering somebody else's site, somebody else's opinion, somebody else's pictures. If Facebook is to be prosecuted, I think you're making a mistake. I think it's important to get after the person who's done the posting, and meanwhile ask Facebook as well to use their good offices to help you to deal with that objectionable site. You can look at these things in a different way also in today's modern technology that every Indian uses, the mobile phone. Would you prosecute the phone company, the phone service provider, if somebody sent an obscene or defamatory SMS? It's not possible, right, for the phone company to know what you're going to put on an SMS to someone, even an SMS to numbers you don't know, before you send it. It's when you sent it that you yourself can be proceeded against, not Airtel or BSNL or Vodafone. I mean, that to me is essentially the confusion, it seems to me, in the decision to admit the case against Facebook and Google and so on. But I do stress these are matters before the learned judges, and they will have to take all of this into account in coming up with their conclusion.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.